So welcome, ladies, and welcome to this evening's webinar masterclass, which is all about putting your dreams to the test. We have the amazing Dr. Linda Jordon with us today. I'm going to introduce her, and then I will let her take it away. So Dr. Linda R. Jordon is a dynamic international speaker, high-performance coach, and trainer who has devoted her career to helping women transform their lives. With over 30 years of professional leadership experience, Dr. Jordon's work focuses on cultivating a winning mindset, enhancing communication skills, and inspiring individuals to embrace leadership roles. As the founder of LRJ Coaching and Business Solutions, LLC, Dr. Jordon specializes in guiding women transitioning from the corporate roles to entrepreneurship. Her expertise in leadership coaching, personal development, communications, and transformational leadership has empowered countless professionals to achieve their goals. And she's here to help us with that too. So I would like to welcome our amazing instructor for this evening, Dr. Linda Jordon.
Good evening. How is everybody doing? Just put in the chat. How are you feeling right now? Energized. Maybe you're a little tired. You just got off of work. How are you feeling? Just put it in the chat. I'd love to know how everybody's feeling this evening. Good and tired. I can totally relate to that. Excited. Awesome. Excited to be here. That is amazing. Love to hear it. Absolutely. I have some slides I'm going to share with you. Let's get that going. Yeah, I have some slides I wanted to share. Righty. All righty. Everybody can see that, right? Thumbs up, put it in the chat. Yes, you can see the slide. Wonderful, wonderful. Awesome, awesome. Well, I am glad everybody is having a wonderful evening. Just to give you a little bit more about me and who I am, and Charlotte, thank you for that introduction. As I tell people, I am a wife, mother, and breast cancer survivor of 10 years. Yes, 10 years. So this is my 10th year of celebration, and I've been doing that every single month. Entrepreneur, also a real estate investor, and as you can see, an author, and that's my lovely family. They're my husband and my daughter, so I always make sure I share that. But to give you a little bit more specifics, these are some of the things that I have, certifications that I have, and I show this because when we talk about putting your dreams to the test, everything that's listed on the screen, I never thought it would ever be accomplished. Ever. I had dreams about it. I had thought about it, but never thought about, being certified in emotional intelligence, which now is, the new buzzword that everybody's talking about. Completing my PhD, I never thought I'd get to do that. But those just a list of things I would like to show individuals because anything is possible if you put your mind to it. So that's why I called this session today, Put Your Dreams to the Test, so that you can live your best life. Put your dreams to the test so that you can live your best life. So put in the chat for me, what is your best life? What is your desire that you want to have? I'd love to hear your thoughts. What is your dream that you want to make sure that you get accomplished? What is the dream? Let's see what we've got going on. No comments yet? Build a sustainable business helping people. I love that, Ava. Building a sustainable business. Anyone else? What is the dream that you want to make sure that you get accomplished? What is your desire? Kidney cancer survivor with the desire to live with purpose and passion. I love that. And congratulations on being a survivor. Finding your purpose. Absolutely. Finding your purpose is important because when I started thinking about my dream, I really wasn't sure what my purpose in life was. And so I struggled with that. And that's why I really enjoy sharing this segment with everyone because you can put your dreams to the test and you can make things happen. It's all in how you do it. So as we get going, let's see if it's going to let me go to the next slide. Alrighty. Technology is always your friend when it really wants to work. I'm not sure why it's not going. Let's see what's going on. Well, it's not cooperating with me right now. Let's see.
Maybe try stop sharing and sharing again. Maybe it's stuck or something.
Yeah, let's try that again. All right. All right. Not sure what happened with that. Um, but yes, here we go. So the question I'll ask you is, as I said before, what is your dream? But does everybody know what a dream is? What does that mean to you when you hear a dream? Now, the terminology is, a dream is an inspiring picture of the future that energizes your mind with emotions. What does a dream mean to you? Put in the chat, what does dreaming mean to you? Because that's just the textbook definition. But when you hear the word a dream, what does that mean to you? Is it going to a place that you never thought of? Is it doing something totally different? What does that mean to you? For me, a dream is doing something that I didn't think I could ever possibly do. That's what dreaming to me is. I want to be that person, or I want to be able to do this thing. That's a dream to me. And so for you, what does that mean to you? A dream, finding your purpose. Let's see, what do we have? Dream is anything that makes your spirit smile. Oh, I love that. I use dreaming to help manifest my deepest wishes. Great, absolutely. Ava and Carol, Kendra, desires that you wish to have or accomplish. Absolutely. Those are what dreams are. Now, there are 5 common reasons for not identifying dreams. Now, if any of these 5 resonate with you, put the one in the chat that resonates with you. We'll start over here with settling. Now, you probably know what that really means, but sometimes we don't identify our dreams because we're figuring, okay, we're in this comfort zone, and that's really where we're going to stay because everything's going well. Why would I want to do anything differently? So you're going to settle. And some people do that. And at the end of the day, it might work out okay for them. But if you're someone who really wants to reach that next level in whatever it's your corporate job or if it's your business job, or if you want to reach a certain level in your health or your wealth, don't settle. But oftentimes we as women do settle. There's also that second one, which is lack of confidence. Lack of confidence. Now, for me, I had a lot of lack of confidence. I am a middle child of 8 children. And so I wasn't the oldest and I wasn't the youngest. And so I had to find myself being stuck in the middle. And I always didn't have confidence. Would you believe that my confidence really didn't start to elevate until I was an adult? And I'm talking about after college, where my confidence really did kick in. And it's quite interesting because most people think, well, I should have confidence early in life, but it doesn't always happen that way for everyone. And for me, it took some time for my confidence to increase, and that's when I started working in the corporate space. And then my confidence started to bloom and blossom, and I started to figure out who I was as an individual. So if you're someone where you struggle with your confidence, don't let that happen. Don't let that happen. And then number 3 is lack of imagination. Now, lack of imagination may come in different forms or fashions, but oftentimes, again, if we're settling for something, we have a lack of confidence. Our lack of imagination will be the next thing that falls in line because we're okay with being okay. We have become comfortable being uncomfortable. So your lack of imagination just sort of dwindles. My mom always said, if you have a talent or gift and you don't use it, it could be taken away from you for whatever reason. You stop using it and you forget to do it. It's just like I started learning to speak Spanish and then it sort of dwindled a little bit because I didn't have the opportunities. And so now I struggle with it. So it's things like that that oftentimes get in our way because life has a way of getting in our way. And we can't do the things that we really want to because we've got to pay our bills and take care of family. If you have children or a spouse or significant other, there's so many people depending upon us as women. And so we get stuck sometimes. So we settle, we have lack of confidence, and we could have a lack of imagination. But we also face number four, which is discouragement. How many of you listening have had someone to tell you, why are you going to do that? Because that's not going to work. You're spending all your money. You're going to be broke. If that is you, put it in the chat because I know I can't be the only person where someone has told me, don't do that. And they've discouraged me. And I was, had this great idea of something I wanted to do. And they were like, oh, that's such a terrible idea. You're going to lose your shirt. Now, my family told me that when I decided after breast cancer that I was going to start my own business and I was going to start a real estate investing business. And I asked my family to join me because, yeah, I've got 7 brothers and sisters. So I've got this grand big dream about how life could really be wonderful if they joined me. And we formed this huge conglomerate of real estate investing. And they all looked at me and said, are you crazy? Have you lost your mind? You want us to give you money to invest? And I said, yes, this is a wonderful idea. I have this dream and I can see it. I could visualize it. And they were like, oh no, that's not going to happen. We'll wait and see how that goes for you. So I was discouraged. I was brokenhearted. I've even fell into bucket number 5. I was so disappointed in myself because I started to have self-doubt. I started to settle. My lack of confidence was just like started to dwindle. My lack of my imagination that I had was lacking because someone said, it's not possible. I felt discouraged. I just felt like my world is caving in. And then one Sunday I was watching television and I can't remember what the show was, but it was someone that was talking on television. They made this comment about if you want to do something and you really want to make a difference in your life and you have this dream and you want to make it happen, just do it. Do it afraid. And so when it came to real estate investing, I said, I'm going to do this afraid. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know who I'm supposed to talk to. I don't have any money. And my confidence was very, very low. But I said, I'm going to do it. And that Sunday, I decided to invest in myself and I started reading. I started researching real estate investors who were doing great things. And I just kept pouring into myself, reading and going to different meetings and connecting with other individuals. Until one day, I went to a networking meeting and I ran across an individual who was a broker. And I asked him about real estate investing, and he gave me some tips and pointers. And he said, just go out there and do it. It'll happen. If it's meant to happen, it will happen. Now, I shared the story with you to help you understand that you have to do certain things afraid. If you have a dream, don't let these 5 reasons for not identifying your dream hold you back. So I didn't allow it to hold me back. I said, I'm just going to do it afraid. Had no clue what I was doing, but I went ahead and I started talking, which I am an introvert in case you didn't know. I'm an introvert. So this was really hard for me to start to go out and talk to other individuals, but I did. Long story short, I found a property, I found an investor, and someone who really wanted to help me get my dream to where I wanted it to be. So I bought my first property. And I used someone else's money because I had heard of it. I didn't think it was true, but I did. And so that made my dream come alive. That made my confidence just went through the roof. And so I continued doing it. So I just kept repeating the whole cycle. I'd rinse and repeat, kept rinsing and repeating. And then it turned into something that I never thought would ever actually happen. So I share that story with you also for you to think about which of these false statements may be holding you back. Because see, for me, it was someone telling me that it wasn't going to happen. They discouraged me. So for you, does any of these 4 connect with you? Yeah, I talked about real estate investing, but if you want to be a leader higher up in your organization than where you are today, are you feeling like, well, I'm not a born leader, so I can't lead anybody? If that's you, put that in the chat. Or are you someone that says, once I get the title or seniority, then I can lead? If that's you, put number 2 in the chat. Because think about it. You don't need a title to lead. You can have people that lead without a title. You can have people that lead without formal education. Leading is all about influence. The third one is more work experience will really make me a leader, then I'll be so good to go. If that's you, put number 3 in the chat. And the fourth one, you're waiting on funding so you can make a change. Are you waiting on something so that you can make a change? Are you waiting on funding so that you can step out of the corporate space and start your own business? Or have you already stepped out of corporate and now you're trying to figure out, I want to start my own business, but I don't know how and I don't have enough money? If that's you, put that in the chat. Because think about it, and I want you all to know that we are all struggling with something. Something is holding us back. But until you bring it to the forefront, write it down and admit it to yourself, yes, this is causing me not to move forward, then you will never be able to move forward. So I see some that 2s and 4s, once you get the title, yes, or you're waiting for funding to make that change happen. Well, I'm here to tell you that if you're waiting on number 4, sometimes that may not happen. So if you're waiting on funding for a change to happen, if that funding doesn't come, what are you going to do? Have you thought about that? Number 3, what if you never get more experience at your job? What are you going to do if you want to be that leader, be that boss of your own organization? If you never get that title, that promotion, how are you going to lead if you can't get promoted, if that's what you're thinking? And if you're thinking that you're not a born leader, so you can't lead, don't think that way because we all can lead. We are born leaders, whether we want to admit it or not, but we are. Now, there's 10 steps to conquer your dreams, 10 simple steps. It's ownership, it's clarity. We all have to know exactly what we want to do. Reality, passion. Is it a burning desire that you have that will help you conquer your dream? I tell people when it comes to passion, when you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to get to that next level of whatever it is you want to do, you have to want it like you need air to breathe. And when you need it like air to breathe, it will truly happen because it's going to force you to get out of your comfort zone. Then there's pathway, there's people, there's cost. Nothing is free. Unfortunately, yes, when you start a business or whatever that dream is for you, it's going to cost you something. And remember, it's not always financial. There's tenacity, there's fulfillment, and then there's significance. But today, we're just going to cover 2, ownership and cost. Everybody with me? So put it in the chat. Ownership and cost is what we're going to talk about. Ownership and cost. So as we look at ownership, the question I want you to ask yourself, are you living your dream or the dream someone else has for you? Are you living the dream or the dream that someone else has for you? Now you may be wondering, well, why did I ask that question? I asked that question because when we all graduated from high school or college or whatever, we all had these hopes and desires of what we wanted to do. And then we all probably went out to get a job, and you may have taken the first job that came up, or you may have taken the job that you thought you wanted. But that really wasn't what you really wanted to do. You know, when I got my first start in the corporate space, I took a job because I was looking for a job. It really wasn't what I wanted to do, but I did. You may be someone that took a job because your parents referred you, or your spouse or significant other or a friend referred you to someone. And so you took that job because you needed that job. But have you heard you should be a blank, or have you ever thought, I always wanted to be a blank, but my parents wanted me to be a blank and I didn't want to disappoint them? I'd love to hear your sentences completed. Have you heard? Fill in the blanks. Have you heard you should be a blank? Or have you ever thought, I always wanted to be a blank, but my parents wanted me, or you could say your spouse or your significant other or your children, they wanted you to do what? And you didn't want to disappoint them. See, for me, I thought I was going to be an accountant. And I started in that field and found out very quickly that was not for me. But I didn't want to disappoint my parents at the time. So in life, we always don't want to disappoint someone. And it may be you don't want to disappoint yourself because you have hopes and dreams of what you want to do. So you may not fill in the blank today, but fill it in at some point and ask yourself that question because that's really making sure that you take ownership of your dream. Now, taking ownership of your dream means that number one, you have to believe in your dream. Believe in your dream. Because if you don't believe it, who else is going to? You've got to love what you do. You have to lead your life. Most importantly, you have to bet on yourself. Because if you don't bet on yourself and you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. You've got to speak with confidence. Speak it into existence, is what I always say. And my favorite is stop comparing yourself to other people. There is so much in the world. When you start comparing yourself to the next person that you see on social media, well, they're doing so great and they've got all this going on with TikTok and all this with AI. What I tell people is stay in your lane. When you stay in your lane, you will move so much further. Now, I don't just say it because I did it myself. I was one of those people who was like, oh my gosh, so and so is doing this. So I've got to do that too. Or I saw this new platform of, new software or a new way to do technology. And someone is doing very well and being successful. So I thought, okay, I need to do that too. Well, we don't. We need to stay in our lane and know what our dreams are and stay focused on it. Be diligent about it. Be consistent in what we do. Because if you don't believe in your vision and if you don't take responsibility for making sure that you stay on task with that, it won't happen. It will turn into a hope as opposed to a dream, as opposed to reality. So make sure that you believe in yourself, lead your life, bet on yourself, and stop comparing yourself to other people. Anyone in the listening, compare yourself to other people. Put that in. Number one, if you are comparing yourself or have ever compared yourself to someone else, and that prevented you from moving forward. Because we often do that. Kendra, yes, all the time is Serena, Carol, yes, I sure have. We all do that, unfortunately. Victoria, yes, we do that. And we need to stop comparing ourselves to other people because we are the best of whatever we choose to do. Because there's not another Linda, there's not another Lisa or another Victoria Sparks or another Tara or another Kendra or another Carol. There isn't. Whatever we want to do in life, you can be the best at that because no one else is going to do it as good as you. So don't compare yourself to someone else. They may do it a different way, but they can't do it as good as you. So always remember that. So, what if you had no limitations to your dream? What if there were no limitations? Today was a brand new day at this very moment, and you had no limitations of what you wanted to do. What would that be? When you take ownership of your dream, you commit to that dream, you have the level of commitment, and you know that you wouldn't fail. What would be those desires that you had no limitations? Put it in the chat. What would you be doing if today, no limits, this is all you? I'd love to hear what people would be doing today if you had no limits. That means there were no funding issues, there were no computer issues. You could do whatever you wanted. What would you be doing at this very moment? Well, I can tell you for me, I'd be doing exactly what I'm doing right now because I love what I do, whether it's virtual or if it's in person. I love what I do. So I did put my dream to the test. I stuck with it. I still have some rough days like everybody else, but you got to stick with it. It's called stick and stay. Stick and stay. So let's say, Ava, I would help more people without having to be concerned with getting paid. Love it. Giving back to the community. Yes, if you had no limits, absolutely. Giving back to others. And Carol, I'm totally taking the steps to do exactly what I'm doing. I do love what I do, and I love awesome, awesome. What I love and love what I do. I love that. Absolutely. No limits. So think about it every day that way. You have no limits. Now, of course, we do have limitations, but if we change our mindset around potential obstacles, we might get a little bit further, just a little bit. So, as we're talking about obstacles, the question I'm going to ask you, did you know that every single day, myself included, we make 6 excuses per day of why we can't get something done, why we're putting our dreams off? Now, when you calculate it, that's over 2,000 excuses that we tell ourselves and 2,000 missed opportunities in our dream, in our business, and in our life. We're telling ourselves that. So, this morning, how many of you hit that alarm clock when it went off, whatever time that was for you? Put in the chat one if you did that. That alarm clock went off and you probably said, I need 5 more minutes. That was me. Unfortunately, yes, that was me this morning. How many of you did that? If you did, that's an excuse. That was your first one for the day, and you haven't even gotten out of bed yet. But you hit that because you needed just like 30 more minutes of rest. But we do it all the time. We tell ourselves that we can't get something done. Now, I call it's excuses. And there are 3 common excuses that we use every single day. And someone just mentioned a few moments ago, not having enough money to do the things that we want to do, not having enough money to fulfill our dreams. Or we say, well, I just really don't have time because I've got to do this and I've got this on my plate. We tell ourselves that. Or we say, well, I really don't know how. And I've also added, I don't know who. We tell ourselves. So we've got all these different excuses or reasons as to why we can't fulfill our dreams. We are doing it to ourselves. Will we ever have enough money to do what we want to do? Maybe, maybe not. What about time? Well, we're not going to get any time back. So whatever you invested today, you can't go back and rewind for tomorrow. And if you don't know how or you don't know who, that means we need to network more. So 3 common excuses: money, time, or knowledge. But at the end of the day, it's all about fear. It's not that we may not have all those things, but we tell ourselves those excuses. But it's because it's that fear of failure, it's that fear of rejection, or the fear that we're not good enough. We tell ourselves that. We've convinced ourselves, well, no, I'm not going to do that. That dream is just too big because if you build it, will they come? And then we talk ourselves out of it. We talk ourselves out of that. How many of you have done that? Talked yourself out of something. Just put yes in the chat if you have talked yourself out of doing your dream or doing something else because it's really about fear. Yes, Carol is correct. We need to get out of our own way. And yes, time is a currency. It is absolutely a currency. So we need to stop creating fear in ourselves. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, or feeling that you're not good enough. Stop comparing yourself to Sally next door or Joanna, who is, she's a multi-million dollar keynote speaker, if that's something that you want to do. Stop comparing yourself. Stay in your lane because those fears are just an indication that you really do want it. You want to pass But that fear of failure, rejection, or not good enough is holding you back. And see, for me, I always thought, well, I'm not good enough because, well, so and so is a much better speaker because they've got all this experience, or, they're a much better trainer because they've got all these credentials. And so when you saw my credentials in the beginning, I was going through that phase of fear, not feeling good enough. And I thought, okay, if I get this extra thing on my resume, I'm going to be perfect. It's going to be right. They're going to pick me. That's what I always thought. But it doesn't work that way. So stop doing it. And I had to tell myself, stop doing it. It's not working. Be real. Be true to yourself. Let go of fear. Let go of that fear of rejection. Let go of that I'm not good enough, because you are. You see, if we stop telling ourselves that, we'll be much better off. Because I don't think someone telling us that all the time. It's just a mindset that we have because we want to be better and we want to fulfill our dreams, but we're overthinking things. So tonight, stop doing it. No more. Let go of all of that. Let go of it. And you will see how life will change for you. Carol says, these still creep in my head, and you feel all those. Absolutely. They stay in my head as well, but I have to have self talk. How many ever do self talk? I have self talk, or I take a nanosecond and I breathe. And I think, okay, you've got this. Absolutely. So thank you all for sharing in the comments. So now as we look at the cost of the dream, as I said before, the cost is, you know, it's not about the money that you're going to spend. It's not swiping that credit card. But are you willing to pay the price to have your dream come to reality? Are you willing to pay the price? So the question I ask you is, do you avoid the question? Do you avoid the cost, or do you avoid the dream? So for me, I had to avoid the cost and go for the dream that I wanted. So I was working my 9 to 5. I was doing my dream job on the side. So for for lack of better words, I guess I was cheating against the company I worked for. But I had to do that. So I utilized my 9 to 5 to pay for my dream job. What a concept. But it actually worked, because when I had my cancer diagnosis, I was able to walk away and go into my dream job full time because I had already started it on the side. Because, remember, my family told me that it wasn't going to work. Now, oddly enough, after I started doing it full time and they started to see how things were working, they were like, "Oh, hey, are you still doing that real estate thing? Can we get in now?" And if you could have seen my face, I really considered having them join, but I said, it's working well, so good for me right now. Let's just keep it that way. But if you find something that you want to do, I'll be more than happy to help you. So at times people may think that you've got this crazy dream and it's really not going to happen. But when it does happen, then people start to come to you. Hey, how did you get that to work? So think about it that way. So don't let someone talk you out of what you really want to do. Don't let them talk you out of your dream job. Now, there's other cost. Again, not talking just about dollars and cents, but the dream is free, but the journey isn't. The price must be paid more than once. So as I was going through my dream, yes, I did lose some family time. My daughter was around 12 or 13 at the time, so I missed some of her sports, but I would always be running out there at the very end to make sure that I could see, or I would get my husband to video record it. So you've got to figure out how that's going to work for you, because what I don't want you to do is to miss those perfect moments, those quality moments with your family or your children that you can't get back. So you got to figure that out. How's it going to work? But there will be a cost to you at some point. But are you willing to pay that cost so that you can get to your dream job? And it will be worth it at the end. Trust me, it will be worth it at the end. So there's different types of costs. We talked about time with family and friends, dealing with criticisms. I call them the haters. The price for overcoming fear, and the price of hard work. Now, the price of overcoming fear, you may say, well, what price is that? Because those are missed opportunities. You didn't take a chance on yourself because you were afraid. Again, it's that mindset. Am I good enough? And then the price of hard work. Yes, you may have some long hours to get to your dream job, but it really will happen. So for you, what is that dream worth? What is it worth to you? For those that are listening, what is your dream worth to you? Because only you can figure that out. The dream for me of being an entrepreneur, what it was worth for me was to create a family legacy for my daughter. She's 31. And I wanted to make sure that she had a better life and has a better life than what I had growing up. Country girl on the farm. So, what is your dream worth to you? Put it in the chat. I'd love to know. What is your dream worth to you? Are you doing it for a family legacy or are you doing it for yourself? What is it worth to you? Pat, yes, legacy, quality time with family. Quality time with family is so very important. I can't stress that enough. And creating a legacy, think about it. Coca-Cola, they created a legacy for their children, their grandchildren, great, 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 greats. Is that what you want? And that's what I want. Peace of mind. Absolutely, Lisa. Kendra, legacy, freedom, impact that changes others' lives. Yes, because when you can create that legacy and freedom, that allows you to spend more time with family, but it also allows you to impact the lives of other people, sharing your knowledge, helping them develop and grow, doing community service because you were so busy on your 9 to 5, you didn't have time to go, work at the food pantry or the Boys and Girls Club because you're so busy working for someone else. But when you can work for yourself and create that legacy, create the dream that you want, you're able to help others, as Pat said. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. So I tell you, don't leave your dream to chance. No, it's pie in the sky. Don't leave it to chance. Put it into action. Be engaged. Make it happen. So I have a 5-step formula, but today we're just going to talk about number 4, and I've talked about it a little bit. But my 5-step formula is around changing the mindset of going from thinking that you're not good enough to knowing that you're just as good, if not better, than the next person. So it's called stimulating your mindset, going from that fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Because there's 3 zones that we keep ourselves in. Number 1, you need to get out of that comfort zone. Stop being comfortable being comfortable. I want you to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And when you're uncomfortable, that's when you start to grow. Then you need to get into what I call that learning zone. That means invest in yourself. Take time to read, understand knowledge, because knowledge cannot be taken away from you. So make sure you understand what it is about that dream that you really want to get to. What are some things that you have to do to get to your dream? And then once you finish that, you'll get into what's called that growth zone because it will start to blossom and grow. You're like, oh my God, this is really happening. How do I get to that next level? Because we always want to reach for that next level. So comfort, learning, and growth. Comfort, learning, and growth. Comfort, learning, and growth. So for you, I dare you to dream. I dare you to dream. And then once you dream, I want you to prepare the dream. Wear it like a badge, because this is where I want to go. When I had my dream, and I still have a new dream, because dreams do change. I was talking about my dream 24/7. Everybody that I came in contact with, yes, I'm going to be a real estate investor. And once I finished that, I was like, yes, I'm going to be a coach, trainer, and speaker. Wear the dream, talk about it, share with other people, because they will help you make it, turn it into reality. Now, sometimes you have to pull the curtain back and make a few repairs because there's some bumps in the road along the way, but those are not major bumps. Those are learning curves. And you'll get over that learning curve and then be ready to share your dream even more with other people. Because when you share your dream of where you want to go, what you want to be, what you want to do, other people will get on that same train with you and they'll help you get there. It's just like when I told the story of real estate investing and that broker wanted to help me get to my dream. He didn't know me, But every time I would start to see him, I would talk about where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. And so he started to work with me. He became my personal broker and helped me invest in real estate. So you got to start sharing your dream because if you don't share it, if you build it, will they come? No, because nobody knows about it. It's the best kept secret ever. So you want to share your dream so others can be a part of your dream with you. So what is your next step? What's your next step in life? What is your next step toward your dreams? This was my next step. I never imagined in 100 years that I would be writing a book with Les Brown, much less meet him. Words can't explain. To be an author, created my own first book. I never thought I could do that. I'm a professor with Cornell University. Oh my God, never thought that would happen. In a magazine, being recognized as one of the 100 most powerful women in North Carolina business owners, speaking on a stage, and then being a part of the John Maxwell leadership team. Never thought that would ever happen to little old me, a country girl from Virginia. But I had a dream, and I put that dream into reality. And I kept focusing on that dream. I kept talking about my dream. And that's what I want you to do. Share your dream with other people. Because the more you share, the more your dream will become a reality. So what I want you to do is if you have a piece of paper, take it out. It can be 3 stickies if you want it, but have a piece of paper. I want you to answer these 3 simple questions. So what's stopping you? The first question I want you to ask yourself is, how is my life right now? How is my life right now? Are you happy with the way things are? And if you are, that's a beautiful thing. But if you're not, how is your life right now? What is about your dream that you need to change because you're not happy with where you are today? Are you looking to go from corporate to being your own boss? Are you looking to go from manager to vice president or manager to director in your corporate job? How is your life right now? Or is there something you want to do differently? The second question I want you to ask yourself is, how would you like your life to be? What is that dream? What is that dream for you? How would you like your life to be? Do you want to be able to, as someone mentioned earlier, to help more people, provide community service? How do you want your life to be so that you can leave a legacy? How do you want your life to be? And then the third question I want you to ask yourself is, what are you willing to give up to get there? What are you willing to give up to get there? Changing your mindset? Changing the people that you connect with or hang around with? Could be friends and family that talk you out of things. And yes, when my family was trying to talk me out of going into real estate, I had to kind of back away a little bit. I still stayed with my family, but I didn't share as much because I knew what they were thinking. So I had to keep some things to myself. So I was willing to give up, the kumbayas of how excited I was until I got to where I wanted to be. So then I could say to them, look what I did. So what are you willing to give up to get to that point in life so that you can have the dream that you really want? It's 3 simple questions. You don't have to write a whole lot. 3 simple questions. So let's see what we have in the chat. Legacy, quality time with family. All right, lots of fire, I see. Lots of hand claps. Awesome, awesome. So you may not fill out today, but make sure that you do ask yourself these 3 simple questions. What are you willing to give up to get there? Just 3 simple questions. And when you can answer those, then you'll be able to get to your dream job or your dream business or your dream social life or your dream community service. Whatever that is for you. When you can answer those 3 questions, you'll be amazed as to you can say to yourself, oh my gosh, why didn't I do this sooner? What are you willing to give up? Pat says, need to be willing to get uncomfortable to get comfortable. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because when you're comfortable, you're just stuck in that mode and you're just, it's like cruising in a car on vacation. If you're driving, you're just cruising. Are you okay with just cruising? And if you are, that's okay. But if you have a dream that you want to get to, make sure that you ask yourself those simple questions. And give up procrastination. Absolutely, Lisa. Give up procrastination because that will hold you back forever and ever. So hopefully what I've shared with you today has made an impact, at least on one person, if not all, because your dream is so, you can reach out and touch it. It's so close to you. But these 3 simple questions will help you make sure that you get there. So for those that are interested in learning more about what I do and how I help others, I do have a business breakthrough package that I do offer. You will see it there on the screen, but don't look at the price because for our special, there is a one-time payment of $14.97. So it's valued at that amount, but just for our ladies tonight only, if you're interested, scan the QR code on the left for the one-time payment of $14.97, and that's for 4 months of coaching. I normally do it for 3, but it will be for 4 months, 2 sessions with me each month, and we will get to the root of it, of where you want to be to make sure at the end of that 4 months, your dream, you're off sailing. That's my goal for you. Or you can do the second option of 6 payments at $4.97. So subscribe for that, which will be your total for the day of $29.82. It's you investing in yourself. One of those 2 packages. And if you say, hey, Dr. Linda, I'm still trying to figure it out. I need to have a conversation. Definitely. You can scan the QR code. I think Charlotte's going to put it also in the chat to schedule 30 minutes with me. And we will talk about how you can get to that next level so that you can fulfill that dream. You can live the life that you deserve. Live the life that you deserve. Call your own shots. That's what I want for you. And I hope again that I have made an impact or made you think about something differently. Change your mindset. But if I've made an impact on at least one person, then I've done my job for tonight. So thank you so much for your time and attention. Blessings to all of you. Back to you, Charlotte.
Brilliant, Dr. Linda. I loved this webinar. Like, yeah, I think you hit a lot of our pain points, and things that I think so many women struggle with, but just that, sometimes we overcomplicate it in terms of, just being able to take the first step and getting some clarity about what we want and dreaming big and dreaming wildly for our lives because yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head that we often get lost along the way. Women are everything to everyone else, and then all of a sudden
Exactly.
one day, and I think that's probably one of the most debilitating questions that I'll ask women is, what do you want? And women sometimes that's stuck in their tracks,
Yeah.
because you forget to dream wildly for your life. And yeah, so I love that you do this to help women really be able to imagine and be able to know how powerful we are to be able to live the life that we desire and that we have everything that we need in us to be able to do that. And you're just such a shining example of that as to just trusting in that. And I think that it shouldn't have to take, I know you and I are cancer survivors.
Yes.
Sometimes you then realize that, nobody's promising us tomorrow. And, I always say the biggest fear any of us could ever have is the fear of regret, getting to
Yeah.
the end of our days saying, wish I woulda, coulda, or shoulda. I
Could
could,
have, right?
I worked for your equivalent of the IRS for 20 years. Can you imagine if I was still there calling people about their taxes every day and that one woman didn't exist? That's, 500,000 women around the world that's been impacted. So I know all these ladies have divine gifts and talents that they shouldn't, I always say, do not rob this world of your amazing
Right.
gifts.
Yep, absolutely. So, and you know, as I say, you know, if I can make a difference in one person's life every day, then my job is done. Because
Yeah,
I can't
well,
save the world, but one person at a time.
yeah, well, that's what it's all about, right? Like we all have that ability, and then when we step into our greatness, that ripple effect is it's endless as to what we can create and what we do. But it's I always say everything that we want is on the other side of fear, and it's our job to just look at ourselves in the mirror, and maybe that's everybody's job tonight before you go to bed is look at yourself and say, you know what, I'm not scared anymore. Because
Yeah,
the universe has big plans for you if we decide to step into it. And we're the only person who can make that decision for ourselves.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. Awesome. Did anybody have any questions or comments, ladies, before we wrap up for the evening? Feel free to just unmute yourself or type it in the chat, whatever you'd prefer. If you have any questions at all for Dr. Linda about the material tonight, about the being able to coach with her, anything that you want to share, feel free to do that. And before we wrap up,
Looks like Simone.
Simone
Hi.
just jumped on now. You missed it, Simone.
Oh, it's not 8 o'clock?
No, it started at 7, but we'll send you out the recording. I let you in just to let you know that yeah, we're just wrapping up here, but don't worry, I'm gonna send the recording out.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, awesome. How about you, Lisa? Are you feeling inspired tonight? Like I just feel so inspired from Dr. Linda's talk tonight. Are you feeling inspired to be able to reach your big goals and dreams now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thumbs up if you feel
Yeah, thank
inspired, or
you.
put it in the chat. Thumbs up if you feel inspired, or just yes.
Yeah, that chat was on fire tonight. You had those ladies going, and that's the thing. It's just taking the time to just dream wildly for your life. And I highly suggest like just plan the call with Dr. Linda just to be able to have. Sometimes it's having a safe space to be able to voice what's going on because not every woman has that. She had talked about that sometimes the people around us and the people who are supposed to love us most are often the ones who are discouraging us. That'll never work, don't be wasting money, all of that kind of stuff. So, we all need that safe space to be able to talk about our big goals and dreams. And I love that Linda has gifted that to everyone tonight. So I'll share that link one more time before we log off that if you want to book your call and chat with Dr. Linda, yeah, that was a beautiful gift that she gave to everyone. And then you can decide, like what the next step is from there for sure.
Absolutely. Well, Charlotte, I want to thank you for the opportunity. And I just love sharing my story and helping other women. But thank you so much for giving me the platform.
Yeah, absolutely. So, ladies, thank you for joining us tonight. Like I said, I will send this recap. But if you wound up joining us somewhere late, or if you missed writing some down the questions and all that kind of stuff, you can go back and do all the exercises because I think they're really powerful, and it's a great way to be able to, yeah, solidify those things and write them down and really think about everything. So, yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Linda, and I wish
My
everybody a
pleasure.
fabulous evening. And we look forward to seeing you again soon. So have a great night, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.